Dear students, welcome you all for the sixth session of the chapter 3 of Human Resource Management. So in this session, we are going to discuss selection process in detail. So what is selection process? What do you mean by selection and what is selection process? So this is what my presentation. First of all, I'm going to explain the meaning of selection, and then I'm going to discuss with you all process of selection. So selection, let's go to the meaning of selection. So what is the meaning of selection? So selection means nothing but choosing the best candidates from the pool of applicants and offering them the job. For example, if you go to a shop, and you want to purchase one soap, and there are so many varieties of soaps, and you will select, even though there are varieties of shops, you will select the best soap which is suitable for you. So this is exactly selection which is done by the organization. So they will select the best employees which they think that they are the best for the organization. So that's why it is choosing the best candidates from the pool of applicants and offering them the job. So it is also called as, it is a process of matching organization's requirements with the skill and qualification of individual. So it doesn't mean that even though you are very good, highly talented, highly experienced, you may not get the job. Provided you match the organization requirements and with the skills and qualification, then only you will get the job. So even when you are selecting the soaps, that soap should match my expectation, my style, my taste, then only I will select it and it will become best. Here also it's the same manner. So organization's requirements, skills, potentials, qualification has to be matched with the individual or with the candidate, then only that candidate will be selected. Then let's discuss the process of selection. So selection process differs from organization to organization. It is not the same for every organization. Some organization, as we discussed in the external source of recruitment, some organ directly will call the candidates for the interview. Some organization has a rigorous process of recruitment. It depends on the organization to organization. So no uniform selection process. You cannot find anywhere the same selection process in every organization. So that's why these two things you have to remember. So now let's go through the first step. So preliminary interview. So before going to the selection process, you will conduct a preliminary interview. We say pre-placement talk. So here candidates have applied for the job, candidates are there. Now you have to tell them that this is what the selection process. First you have to tell them this is the job, okay, this is the specification of that, this is the qualification, this is the selection process that you will undertake. So that is called as preliminary interview. Here everybody will be put together in one room or one hall where the HR officer will address all the candidates, telling them the requirements, all these things. The second one, receiving applications. So once you have told about the job, all these things, you will receive the applications from the other department or whatever the two candidates who have applied for the job. Those applications will be handed over to the selection officers. So selection officers, what they will do is they will go through all the applications and they will screen the application. That is the third steps. Okay, they will screen all the applications. So here how the screening is done. Screening is done based on the qualifications. Screening is done based on the experience. Screening is done based on the marks. There are so many other benchmarks for screening the applications. So majority of the companies in campus and job fair, they will screen the application based on the marks. They will they will set up a benchmark cutoff mark. If the candidates are above that marks, then they will be selected for the next process, or else they have to return. Then fourth one, employment test. So once the screening of applications is done, you will get certain number of candidates. Now the selection process starts. So a test will be done, different test will be done. A employment test we are going to discuss in detail in the coming videos. Here different tests are done, knowledge test, aptitude test, interest test. So many tests are done so that individual candidate is really best. So candidate is passing all the tests and he has certain aptitude, he has certain interest, he has certain knowledge. So all these tests are then done to judge or select the best employee. Then once all the tests are done, then the interview is held. So interview is held for the few candidates who have passed in the employment test. So interview is a face-to-face discussion where certain HR officers and the candidate will sit together and they will discuss in detail. So here mainly the attitude of the employee, the values built by the employee, knowledge of the employee, all these things are tested, and the way the employee communicates, communication skills, different skills are tested. So many things are tested in interview. So once he is qualified in interview, then a reference check is done, because in every resume we have to give certain references to see whether this candidate is a really suitable candidate or whether he has some criminal background, all these things. So reference check is done for that purpose, whether he is a suitable candidate, whether he is having any trouble, whether he has any problem previously, all these things are done. So once the candidate is passed through reference check, then medical examination is done to see whether he is medically fit to work. So your fitness test is done. Okay, different organizations have different tests. For example, if you join defense, then you have a different test. If you join as a watchman, you have different medical exam. So based on the job. So once you are qualified in medical examination, then the next one is final selection. So here, out of if the medical examination, if some candidates are not qualified, then they will be rejected and final selection will be done. So final selection means ultimate, over. After that there is no selection process. So here this particular finally selected candidates will be forwarded to HR department for the placement purpose. So they will be placed according to the job for which they have applied. Okay, for example, if you are applying for a bank jobs, you will be placed in different places. If you are applying for a company, you may be placed in different portfolios. So placement is done by the HR manager. Then once the placement is done, you are given what is your job, your profile, all these things. The induction is done. Induction is the first orientation regarding the company, regarding your job, regarding the timing, regarding various rules and regulations. All these things are informed to the new employee so that they will get adjusted to the new culture. So this is what the selection process. So thank you for watching the video.